Welcome ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Captures here, and today I have a brand new video for you. In today's video, we're going to look at the top 10 worst Pokeballs of all time. This top 10 is limited to Pokeballs that were used in any of the core series Pokemon games. Starting us off at number 10, we have the most common available capture device, the Pokeball. The Pokeball sets the standard of catching devices in the Pokemon franchise. The problem with the Pokeball is that it has a ×1 catch rate, making it one of the lowest catch rates in all core series Pokemon games. The Pokeball, however, does have many positives. It is the base Pokeball in the franchise. Its design is by far the most iconic item in Pokemon's history. There are plenty of opportunities to get Pokeballs for free, and even when you do have to buy them, they only cost around 200 Pokedollars, making them the cheapest Pokeball available. Next up, we have the most useless ball on the list, the Moon Ball. A Pokeball that makes Pokemon that evolve with a Moonstone easier to catch. For starters, the Moon Ball has a 3x catch rate on a very minimal amount of Pokemon. As of current Gen 8, that's Sword and Shield, there is only 6 Pokemon that this Pokeball was made for. Nidorina, Nidorino, Clefairy, Jigglypuff, Skitty, and Muna. All 6 of which are pretty damn easy to catch in the first place. This ball is pretty useless. But I guess you could say... it kinda looks cool. The Heal Ball is another pretty useless item. The Heal Ball is a remedial Pokeball that restores the HP of the Pokemon caught. It also eliminates any special conditions. Sounds great, right? So why is it on this list? This ball doesn't usually become available until around the 3rd to 5th gym, depending on what game you're playing. Which pretty much means that you've probably already got a team of 6. And when you have a team of 6, where do your Pokemon go? To the Pokemon Center. What's in the Pokemon Center? Nurse Joy, which can heal up all your Pokemon. The ball also only has a ×1 catch rate, the same as any Pokeball. And to top it off, you know what else heals up Pokemon? Potions and full heals. You can literally get the exact same result with a normal Pokeball, some super potions, and maybe a full heal. But I mean, hey, it could be useful if you don't have a team of 6, if you're not carrying any potions, and if you don't have any status healing items. That's a pretty big if. At number 7, we come into a Pokeball that I wasn't sure if it deserved to be on this list or not. The Premier Ball. The Premier Ball is a somewhat rare Pokeball that commemorates an event of some sort. Like buying 10 Pokeballs. The Premier Ball has a ×1 catch rate, like the Pokeball, and while technically being a free bonus gift, if you actually wanted to purchase these, looking at you all the shiny hunters out there, it literally costs a minimum of 2,000 Pokedollars each. The Premier Ball does have some good bonuses though. You do get it as a free gift if you're purchasing 10 Pokeballs, which is pretty useful early on, especially when you don't have much money. They also have a really cool design and they're available from early on. The Love Ball was a brilliant concept, one of the few balls that is actually useful. A Pokeball that works best when catching a Pokemon of the opposite gender. Now, most Pokemon have a 50% chance of being an opposite gender to your current Pokemon. That means that this ball has a massive range of Pokemon to be targeted. Its intended purpose was to have an 8x catch rate of any Pokemon that is in the opposite gender. However, due to a coding issue in the original Gen 2 games, this ball was made to have a ×8 catch rate on the same gender. Now, the only problem with this is, back in 2000, when these games came out, most people couldn't just Google search to see why this ball wasn't working any better than a regular Pokeball. Most people, including myself, just thought that this Pokeball was broken, therefore rendering it useless. They did fix this mechanic in the later generations to match its description, and at a ×8 multiplier, this ball certainly could be useful. Next up, we have another pretty useless Pokeball, the Nest Ball. The Nest Ball is a somewhat different Pokeball that becomes more effective on lower level Pokemon. There are a few problems with this ball. Well, for one, people aren't usually struggling to catch weaker Pokemon. Most people are able to catch a low level Pokemon with a regular Pokeball, after lowering its health a little bit, that is. If the Pokemon's level is any higher than level 19, the catch rate becomes times 2, which means that it's about as effective as an Ultra Ball. At level 29 or higher, this ball basically just becomes a Pokeball. Now, a times 2 catch rate isn't too bad, but it's not very good either. I also haven't mentioned that this ball usually costs around 1,000 Pokédollars each. The biggest problem is that this ball's usually not available until the mid to late game. Now, at a 3 times catch rate, it is decent, making it on par with most other special Pokeballs. In some games, these balls can be found early on as well on the floor, which is good, but apart from that, are they really anything special? Another one of Kurt's brilliant designs is the Fastball. That is, of course, if this Pokeball worked. The Fastball was made to help you catch Pokemon that flee, you know, like the 3 legendary dogs in Gen 2. However, due to a coding issue yet again, these balls gave improved odds on Tangela, Grimer, and Magnemite. Like you need improved odds on any of them Pokemon, but anyway. The Fastball is also really hard to come by in most games, and when it does become available, it's usually around about 1,000 Pokédollars per ball. The good thing about the Fastball is that in later games they did change the mechanics of the ball to improve the odds of catching Pokemon with a base speed stat of more than 100. Now, this gives a ×4 multiplier to any Pokemon that fits that speed stat description, which makes it a significantly better ball. The Beast Ball is another Pokeball on this list that can be argued to be a really good ball. Now, the Beast Ball is a somewhat different Pokeball that has a low success rate in catching any standard Pokemon. The reason it has been included in this list is because it has a ×0.1 multiplier on any Pokemon that is a standard Pokemon and not an Ultra Beast. This makes it the lowest catch rate modifier of any Pokeball without it becoming impossible. The other problem with the Beast Ball is that in some games there is a limited amount of balls available, meaning that with its low catch rate, you may see yourself soft resetting the game quite a bit. They did fix this in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, where they made the ball available for purchase late in the game. The Beast Ball is also very good at its intended purpose of catching Ultra Beast Pokemon. It has a huge ×5 catch rate if being used on any Ultra Beast Pokemon. Plus, the design looks really cool. Yet another one of Kurt's brilliant designs is the Lure Ball. Now, the Lure Ball is a Pokeball that is good at catching Pokemon that are on a fishing rod. A ×3 multiplier isn't too bad. It's about average for any special Pokeball. The biggest problem with this ball is that there are many other Pokeballs that are much more effective than the Lure Ball. The Dive Ball, which is a 3 times multiplier for any Pokemon while in the water, and better yet, the Net Ball, which offers a 3 times catch rate for all bug and all water type Pokemon. So out of the 3 available Pokeballs to catch water type Pokemon, the Lure Ball is by far the worst choice. I also haven't mentioned that most Pokemon that are caught on fishing rods have a very high catch rate as it is, making the ball even more useless. In Generation 7, they did add a 5 times multiplier to the Lure Ball, so that at least it can be outperform the other 2 mentioned Pokeballs. However, there really isn't a very high amount of Pokemon that can be caught on a rod in these games anyway. So you're still probably better off using a Net Ball instead. Now finally, last on the list, it's the Master Ball. No, just kidding, it's actually the Heavy Ball. Now at this point you might be saying, why is the Heavy Ball one of the worst Pokeballs available? The Heavy Ball can actually be pretty useful. And I agree with you. However, there is one big problem with the Heavy Ball. Under certain conditions, this Pokeball could become 100% completely useless with a 0% catch rate. The Heavy Ball multiplier works by a Pokemon's weight. This means that if a Pokemon is less than 225 pounds, that's 102 kilos, that Pokemon will be impossible to catch in certain games. This means that in some games, you can't even catch a Caterpie or a Magikarp with this ball, meaning that even a basic Pokeball can outperform it. Imagine having 10 heavy balls left and no other Pokeballs, and you come across a shiny Pokemon that weighs less than 225 pounds, and you physically cannot catch it. This well and truly might be the case. It's pretty unlikely, but you never know. On the other hand, if the Pokemon you're battling is heavier than 225 pounds, this Pokeball is actually pretty useful. The heavier the Pokemon is, the better the catch rate will be. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the video. I really hope you did enjoy it. If you liked the video or learnt something new, please give me that thumbs up. For more Pokemon related content, please give us a subscribe. Thanks again, and peace out.